What's up, Starcraft fans? Before we begin, I actually want to acknowledge a mistake that you guys pointed out that I didn't realize. So, I didn't include Stu Co-Op's Doodlings when I actually did the video, so I have adjusted the numbers. You can see now I've added the 4.8% damage of Doodlings and added the 7% their kills. So, we now have 7.67% for Stu Co-Op, so that's pretty good. Now, let's proceed. We have Kerrigan. Oh wait, no, not Kerrigan. We have Stetboy next, and we will use Oil Baron so that our Ultralisks and Zergs will be more effective the longer they are out on the field. So I'll go this time with upgrade resource cost, so I can actually have stronger, or actually cheaper upgrades, so I can get the Ultralisks out faster. And the upgrades themselves will make my units better. I'll go for stetzone bonuses so that my units are better set the stetzone, and I'm just kind of experimenting with deploy satellite and structure morph rates, so I can just have more satellites but also have fast building. So let's actually begin. We're still on the Oblivion Express, so let's start. Once again, we're on the Magor map, so we can select the enemy composition, which is classic ground Zerg. This is actually gonna be my last video of the series. There's gonna be a problem for me because by the time this video releases, I will still be, well, by the time you're watching it, I'll be in the US. So the next week, the week after this video releases, I will still be in the US. So actually I'm at a dilemma. I don't know what content to make. I've of course thought first of using the Nova Covert Ops of a different race, the race swapped Nova Covert Ops. But my campaign series do not do well at all. Like, they barely get anyone watching. So I've kind of decided against it for now. I mean, people can ask. I can get like a dozen or so comments telling me that they will do watch on my video. I'm absolutely thankful to you guys. But like a dozen videos or a dozen views doesn't really count for a lot on my channel, at least. I know for a lot of channels that 12 views is a lot, but you know, it's kind of not worth the time and effort I expend on creating said videos, because I actually have a lot. You probably have heard by now, I have a lot going on and a lot of things to juggle, responsibilities, work, my family, my wife, and you know, more work. I've thought of a few things. Of course, I haven't completely shut the door on doing another campaign series. The primary reason I haven't shut it is because the Nova Covert Ops is a relatively short campaign, so I can kind of just start it and then get it over with quickly. Ideally, if I can shorten it to like, I don't know, 3 episodes, maybe it wouldn't be as bad. Something like that. But I would have to shorten it to like 3 videos. So like 1 for the first set, 1 for the second set, 1 for the third set. Another thing I'm contemplating is some other games. I mean, I've been playing a lot of Witcher 2 recently. And I haven't featured it on my channel, on my main channel, or on my Patreon channel, where I just post the unlisted videos for all my Patreons, so they can have early access to my tier lists unedited. I've also been contemplating starting another playthrough of Cyberpunk to start Phantom Liberty. There are some pretty good reviews on Phantom Liberty, and I haven't bought it yet, not because I don't want to play the game, but it's partly because I'm a cheapskate and I kind of want to wait for a sale, because I did buy the base game at launch. Basically, I bought the base game at launch, and that was I did not make that investment back in my streams. It was a fun game though. I did enjoy the game, even in its base form, because I play on PC, so I didn't experience a lot of the crashing, a lot of the bugs, a lot of the T-posing that a lot of players did experience at launch. I mean, the other issues are still there. It was a pretty empty game. There were not a lot of stuff to do, but I kind of did enjoy it still, especially since I did try a bunch of different playstyles, and I heard they overhauled the game on 2.0. Well, not heard. I saw that they updated the game in 2.0, but I pretty much haven't touched the game. I just kind of open up a bit, like see how the skills are different, and I figured, oh yeah, this definitely deserves a seventh playthrough. I pretty much tried every life path and every option in the game, so the only new thing for me will be the Phantom Liberty expansion itself. But again, it's not my primary content, and YouTube might get quite punitive if I decide to show cyberpunk gameplay, because that game has a lot of nudity, has a lot of, well, explicit themes, violence, suggestive themes, yeah, the whole thing. Oh, by the way, Gary is absolutely arranging it. So while I'm using to defend here, I will move away from him. His damage will not count for this purpose. By the way, you might be unused to seeing Gary move this fast, because again, I use the Oblivion Prestige for this one. So Gary doesn't move slowly. By the way, Zerglings are still doing damage to the train. I finally finished it off. I am going to use a bunch of Zerglings here, but my primary usage for them will be just for the trains. Just for the trains. Ideally. Now you can see the Ultralisk has started to get some of that best oil. The best oil, of course, is the perk of using the Oblivion Prestige. For now, we're gonna use Gary and this one Ultralisk. Of course, I'm trying to buy as many of them as early as I can. So those guys, they just deal a lot of damage to them. Activate the satellite overcharge so that my Ultras will have a lot of protection. You can see that Ultra was starting to look. You can see the Ultra starting to really chew through the enemy. Look at that! Oh my goodness! Yeah, look at this guy chew through this. Look at this! Look at this guy! Oh my goodness! It's kind of starting to get silly. Look at this. Meanwhile, my Zerglings are starting to shoot through the train. I am getting melee upgrades and shield armor upgrades for my ground units. That's pretty good for me. Let's see. This Ultralisk already has 42. Oh my goodness. Meanwhile, Zerglings are still chewing through the train. They are still doing their thing. How many units do I have? Did I lose a bunch of Zerglings already? I have 10 Zerglings, and I imagine they're all chewing through the train. Yeah, it just takes a while, because this thing has lots of health. 10,000. It's already at 10. It's already at 5-digit health, so it takes a lot of firepower to completely delete this train and make it not a thing. So I pull back the Zerglings to minimize losses and maximize cost efficiency for my army overall by, you know, not trading and instead just cleaning with these Ultralisks. Oh, Gary kind of moved away a little bit. Oh well. I'll just wait for that guy to move in and then I'll clean it up. Oh, there are two of them actually. Well, that changed things a little bit. I need detection. So here come these overseers. I'm kind of wary of using Supergary at this point, even though I just paid for him, because he does steal a lot of kills from my Ultralisks, so I do want to move back. Oh, I did lose that one. That was Miss Micro by me. That was really bad Miss Micro by me. I did eventually use the satellite overcharge though, but each Ultralisk I lose is a pretty hefty price, because they're quite expensive. Especially with Oblivion. One of the disadvantage of Oblivion is that things cost more. combat units specifically cost more. So I gotta be more efficient with them. This is why the Zerglings I have are not engaging enemy waves. They can engage like singular hybrids, hybrid destroyers that spawn from these trains. They can just easily surround it, and they will have the hardened shields when they engage the hybrid. So it's not that big of a deal, I think. At least I don't think. They have this guy just saying hello to my Ultralisk. Just gonna say hello to my other Ultralisks. It's pretty good. Meanwhile, I can see these Zerglings are getting lifted. It's not ideal. But with the green zone, it did stand for a while. It did stand for a while. Meanwhile, my Ultras are cleaning house. And Zerglings are, well, some of them are fighting the train. You can see some of these guys at the bottom. And some are just kind of scrambling. Meanwhile, Ultralisks here, cleaning the wave. Trying to bait them into the stet zone, where my Ultralisks have an advantage in the form of the stet zone. And of course the Steelite overcharge to protect this guy. So I use the manual charge. This charge is apparently a manual cast ability. So I use this to kind of retreat from the enemy. Meanwhile, my Zerglings cleaned out this little wave. I do have to destroy this one. I don't have any melee anti-air. So I will have to use a pretty strong anti-air in the form of Gary. I activate the satellite overcharge so that my Ultralisks would stay alive. That's a hope, at least. Here come the train. Here come the train cars. Clean out these guys, and then just start whacking the train. And it goes down. It goes down sufficiently fast. And now I activate the Gary zone so I can extend. Ooh, I can extend the stat zone over here. Meanwhile, Ultralisks and Zerglings have both engaged. Activate the stat overcharge. The blue zone overcharge lets my units attack even faster. So that'll help me just delete that train so fast. As expected. Alright, fight this train. It's a 1v1. Aim on Ultralisk versus my Mecha Ultralisk. Speaking of cyberpunk, that's another one. That's another one of those situations where Chrome beats. Okay, I just realized what the word I was about to say was, and I kind of stopped myself short of it. I'm kind of proud of being able to just stop myself short of saying, you know, the thing that rhymes with beat. I will not say it. Unless I slip up, in which case I will say it, but inadvertently. I had to clear out these air units, so there goes an Igor. Meanwhile, Ultralisks just cleaning house. But yeah, Chrome does beat that. Chrome does defeat. Is it okay to say if it's worded that way? Probably, right? Anyway, here come my Ultralisks. They will just cleave through this whole escort wave like it was nothing. Just chomp through and give these guys a mecha hug. A mecha hug. I retreat that guy in the orange. Keep him alive. Of course, I use the charge retreat because that allows him to just go through or go under all my forces. So he doesn't have to just derp around all my other guys who keep pushing in front. Nice. Yeah, effectively, how I want to micro my Ultras is kind of like a quasi. I always want to say Roman style, where the guy in the front retreats to get the fresher guy in the back turn in combat, but I've only read and heard that they do it like that. So, you know, maybe it's not. Maybe it didn't happen. It seems quite complicated, personally. When you're in the heat of battle, and then your officer gives you the signal to pull back. Can you pull back? Especially with all those guys right behind you, also wanted a piece of the action. I guess they were trained that way, or I guess I heard they were trained that way at least. We will never know if it actually happened. All we have to go by are some writings of old dead people, so we will never know. Either way, Ultralisks are extremely effective at that strategy they were trying to achieve, as long as I'm on point, controlling every single one of them. So there's a caveat. As long as I'm controlling every single one of them perfectly, might I add, perfectly, only then will I be able to preserve my forces that effectively. But the green overcharge is not bad to substitute for, you know, actual good control. It's a pretty okay substitute for actual good control. Meanwhile, I branch off some of these Ultralisks down here to intercept these escorts, and I try to pull this guy back to safety. There we go. Meanwhile, attack wave has started. Oh, this guy's pretty low. Okay, he's now back to triple digit health. He did it, guys. This guy survived. He's a survivor. He's a liver. Well, not liver as in the organ, but a liver as in the guy who lives. It's like Harry Potter, the guy who lived. You can't say when during the 90s, Harry Potter was a boy who lived. Like, he was actually a little trivia. If any of you guys watched the Harry Potter series, or actually read the Harry Potter series, I was pretty much the same age as Harry Potter. Like, we were, well, not the movie guy, that is the movie character. Like, the Sorcerer's Stone, premiered in theaters when I was 11 years old, right around the same age Harry was during that time. So I'm one of the guys who can say that I actually grew up with Harry Potter, like literally grew up. We were literally the same age. But yes, now I know how old he is. He is not the boy who lived. He is the guy who lived. Alright, last train. Zerglings marching their way back. Not marching, just charging their way back. Oh my goodness, the blue zone. I burrowed them here to keep them safe. Meanwhile, my Ultras just charge through. The way this looks, the way this charge looks actually is actually with the shield. The way this charge looks with the shield, or yeah, with the shield thing of the green Steadlight. Now they look more like a Spartan phalanx. Look at this. This looks like Alexander the Great's force, just cleaving through the Persians, and you know, all the other guys. Meanwhile, I have the guys in the back cleaning the train. Look at that. That was so effective. Beautiful. All right. Yeah, so mighty, Felix, so mighty. Anyway, let's check out the score screen. All right, here we have the score screen. Let me pull this up here. Oh, okay. Here we go. So, total damage done is 272. Well, he won't be winning this one then. Multiply that by 61.9%. We add Zerglings of 27.9% is pretty huge, actually. That's pretty huge. 244, that's not bad. It's not a bad score. Yeah, he gets into the threes. Nice. He's a 3 in front of him on the total damage. All right. I feel like I didn't do myself any favors in the cost efficiency department. Oh my goodness. Anyway, let's check out the math. Ultralisk got 78%. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. 3, multiply that by 78%. Then we add the Zerglings, 67 or 5%. That's pretty good. Copy the format, 2.49. That's respectable. That's pretty respectable. Now for the cost. Here we go. We'll see how much the damage ended up being, bank-wise. Let's add... How would I do this? Let's add... I made 20 Ultralisks. Multiply that. Oh, that's quite expensive. 420. 420 and add 200. For the Zerglings, let me check the stats. For the Zerglings, it's 35 each, I guess. I made... Oh wait, how many of these Zerglings were revived? I didn't factor it in. Some of these Zergs were revived. I'll have to go back. Okay, at the end of the game, I had 86 Zerglings, and I lost 24. So, 86 add 24. I produced... That's how it works, right? I lost 24. I have 86 at the end, so that should be the amount I actually bought. So I bought that many Zerglings. Multiply that by 35. That's not actually as bad as I thought. Well, I guess it's because he was standing right next to Zertul, who was pretty expensive. So let's see. Not great, but still pretty respectable, I think. That's pretty respectable, ultimately. Now, as you can see, I'm going to end this series without actually having a result on these guys, but I'll probably come back at some point and do a recap, but you can probably just do the math yourself. Check out, I mean, the numbers are right here. All I have to do is add the percentage of likes that each commander got with their melee units, but that's what happens when I literally go away for a month. Well, not for a month, half a month. There we go. Anyway, guys, that's a bit for this series. Unless I pull a surprise one and add, I don't know, someone like Arcturus, who would be terrible, by the way. Arcturus would be terrible for the series because his melees consist of Zerglings and Ultralisks, which are only available for the Zerg cooldown. And that's not very frequent, to be honest. And they're free though. So since the Zerg are free, like he'll have a 0 here, which will put him, well, that's actually gonna throw all the math out the window. But if I put the 1 here, if Arcturus are here, he'll make pretty much everyone else score a 0 on cost efficiency. So I think Arcturus will completely break this. Like all his points will be on cost efficiency. He won't get anything on damage or kills, but everyone else will have a 0 in cost efficiency because even though Abaddon is quite cost effective, you can't beat free, and Arcturus' only melees are, the free guys. So, I'm not sure if it's even possible to do him. Maybe I can do someone like Tychus and just go Vega and Mind Control. Oh, by the way, a lot of people are complaining about why I didn't include Firebutts. I believe I already explained it, and I know that most of those guys who complain in those videos will not watch this video because they got angry at me for not including Firebutts, but the logic is they can shoot, they can deal their damage over these cliffs. As long as he can shoot an enemy from the high ground to the low ground, that is ranged. That is how it was coded in Map Editor, or at least that's what Tangarcraft told me. As long as you need a ground path to your target to deal damage, you are melee. If you don't need a ground pathing, such as if you're over a terrain thing, you are ranged. That's how it makes the distinction in the editor. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching. If you have an idea for it, also please leave it in a comment. Whatever comes next, I will see you then.